and welcome to Tough Talk with me, Emerald. So, I know I can start off very cheery like I always do, but this week the episode is gonna be a little bit heavy, okay? Last week I said that I was gonna start a 3-part series on cultural appropriation, and I very much intend on getting back to that. But in light of recent events, I think that it is appropriate that we take time to discuss what's happening in the state of our country right now, the movement regarding policy and legislation change to ensure that minorities are no longer targeted and victimized by law enforcement. So we are going to have that discussion today. First, I am going to do a little bit of the pouring the tea, the lemonade, and other drinks, a little bit of celebrity gossip, although it's not really gossip. What I want to talk about this week is how we are seeing now a tremendous outpouring of support from a lot of our idols and celebrities, in particular in the black community. So you have people like Beyonce now who put out a statement to the Beehive just talking about how we have to get involved. We can't stand for this. We can't stand for these killings. Jay-Z just put out a song, again, talking about social justice and empowering minority communities. I know that Drake wrote an open letter referring to how he was scared, you know, for himself, for his friends, just to exist in this country, right? Even though he's not from here. He could go back to Canada, but that's a different story, right? And then even some of the athletes, we have Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, Big Baby Davis, just speaking out about some of these atrocities. So I will say this, while it's not really gossip, right now I'm pretty proud of some of our idols for stepping up, and I will say cheers to them and take a sip. So I'm going to introduce somebody. I do have a guest tonight, my very first guest on Tough Talk. She and I go back to high school in Stone Mountain, Georgia, and then into college in Statesboro, Georgia, which is probably the worst city in the world. But we've known each other for some years now. We've seen each other grow up, and very recently, I would say last year, we've connected in a different way over social media just regarding, again, some of the bullshit going on across the country. Yeah. So this is Shani, and I'm so glad she's here. She's visiting us in North Carolina from Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm glad
New Orleans born, Atlanta raised, Nashville living.
And I'm so glad she's here, and we're gonna kind of dissect some of this stuff going on, and in particular talk about what's going on in the movement and how we can continue to make the movement possible.
Yes, because that's important.
I think so. So the top story, obviously, is the fact that 2 men, black men, were murdered, documented on camera by law enforcement.
At the hands of the people that's supposed to serve and protect.
Right. Right. Because that sounds like serving and protecting people.
Absolutely.
Murdering them.
Of course.
I'm going to say their names. I'm going to give you their stories because I think it's important that we say their names and that we know their stories, okay? So, the first happened in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. She said you're New Orleans born. His name was Alton Sterling, 37 years old, again in Baton Rouge, father of 5 children. And he was selling CDs and DVDs in front of a store. Police officers came up to him. A scuffle broke out.
We'll call it that.
We'll call it a scuffle. They pinned him down, arms behind his back, and then they shot him 6 times at close range.
I think it was 5 times.
5 times?
Yeah.
Close range. He was pinned down, he was subdued, he was restrained. Whether he had a gun or not, he had a gun.
He had a gun.
He had a gun. But whether he had a gun or not, he was pinned down.
He had a gun in the open carry state.
Yes.
He had a gun in his right pocket when all hands were pinned.
Right.
And it was just called out at the fact that he had a gun.
Right.
They found it.
Right. So, that's Alton Sterling. We're going to say his name. We're going to recognize him. Then, literally, the next fucking morning, we wake up, and there's a video, Facebook live feed video of Philander Castillo, 32 years old, out of Falcon Heights, Minnesota. He was pulled over because he had a broken taillight. And he gave the warning to the cop, hey, I have a concealed weapon permit and a weapon. The cop asked him to pull out the permit, his driver's license, and while he was reaching for his permit and his driver's license, while he was obeying the officer, for whatever reason, for his unspoken biases, feared for his life and shot into the car, killing Philando. I think later on that evening in the hospital he died.
Yeah, he died.
But in the car was his girlfriend and her four-year-old daughter. And she was the one who caught it on videotape. So those are just the facts, right?
That's just this week.
That's just what's been caught on camera this week. Okay?
This week.
Yeah, because I'm sure there are more. I know there are more that weren't caught on camera. So here's the thing, and here's the social justice piece of the episode. There's a lot I can say. There's a lot I want to say. But the first thing I'm going to say is this is some bullshit. Like, let's be very clear about this. This is some bullshit. This is so absurd that these atrocities are becoming the norm. That watching black men's bodies and their souls be ripped from them is becoming the entertainment in America. It's bullshit, it's disgusting, and I'm sick of it. And if you are not sick of it, I don't know what to tell you. You're not somebody who I need to associate with.
At all. There's no reason for me to even discuss life with you because you don't understand my life. You're not open to getting what I go through on a daily basis. There's no reason for us to have a conversation.
Right.
There's no friendship needed. Delete, block.
The line has been drawn in the sand. Like, what else can we talk about, right? So, I know that many of you who watch this feel the way that we do. What I have noticed, however, is that we get riled up and then the momentum stops. I can remember all these things happening after Mike Brown, after Freddie Gray, and please don't make me list the names because it really makes me sad. But
I gotta pull out like a list.
like a legal pad, right?
I'm losing track of the names at this point.
It's true. But then like it dies down. And that's not to say that everybody, stops doing the work. I know that I'm consistently active in the community. I know that Shani's consistently active in the community. I know there are lots of us out there. But I guess maybe the appeal and the excitement of being involved dies down for the average black American.
They no longer become a trending topic.
Is that what it is?
They are not a trending topic, so it falls off the radar. You stop seeing friends. As it progresses, you stop posting about it.
And so then nobody cares.
Yeah, until the next hashtag comes along.
So what we want to talk about tonight then is what's next in our movement. And how can we actually mobilize and get something going? Because we need systemic and sustainable change, okay? So, I come up with 3 points. I'm going to lay out my 3 points, and I'm going to let Shani kind of jump in and add what she feels like she needs to add to it. So, listen up, people. This is everybody. This is black people. This is brown people. Exactly. This is people in the LGBTQIA community. This is our allies. If we have named you one, this is everybody. So listen up, okay? First thing you need to do is plug into an organization. And I'm not talking about your Black Singles in Atlanta organization, because while that... Look at the shirt. Because while that is a fine organization to be a part of, no tea, no shade, for real, like, do that. I get you, like, I got it. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about an organization that is pushing for social change, that is pushing for legislative policy and laws to be changed. I'm talking about an organization that is down with the movement of ensuring that black, brown, LGBTQIA women's bodies are not being dictated by those who don't understand what it means to walk in their shoes, okay? So find yourself an organization in your community. If you don't know any, Shout me out on YouTube. I will help you find them. I am committing to you to help you find an organization in your town. Okay?
I'll help.
Exactly.
I'm helping.
We'll work together. We'll work together. But find an organization and get involved, and don't half-ass it. Like, actually do it. You know, if that means that you have to do something twice a month with them, do something twice a month. But don't half-ass it. Like, we cannot let this momentum die down right now. So that's first. Get plugged in. Second, and I think this one is really important to me and really sticks out to me. When you get plugged in, figure out what your specialized role is in this movement, okay? Everybody can't do everything, and that's okay. But everybody should be doing something, okay? We're gonna need everybody, okay? We're gonna need the radicals and the protesters and the marchers. We're going to need the lawyers to help us with permits and legal counsel. We're going to need the bail bondsmen when inevitably the radicals get thrown into jail. We're going to need the nurses and the doctors when somebody gets hurt, because it's going to happen, unfortunately. I was saying earlier to Shani, we need the babysitters, because my black ass is going to be the radical out on the street, and I got 2 kids, and I need somebody to say my role in the movement is to watch her kids while she's out there fighting for our rights. We're going to need
teenagers, if you want to get involved, this is where you come in.
I think that's such a good idea. If you're 15 and you don't know what to do, start up a babysitting service. If you know there's going to be a march in downtown of your city, be like, listen, I'm babysitting for free if you're going down there, because I can't go down there because I'm too young. That's a perfect way to get involved, right? We're going to need the people just like they do after somebody died for the repast. Who going to supply the food to those of us? Who going to be passing out waters while we marching? If you can't get up, legit, it's hot in the South. Who's passing out the water?
You're hungry after you march for a long time.
Okay?
You work them calories off, you need to replenish.
No, we're laughing, but this is for real. Figure out what your role is. Who is going to, you know, everybody can get off work to come to a protest or a march or a vigil or a sit-in. That's fine. If you want to write the check, be like, this particular check is going to those protesters because we need to make sure they have shoes to continue the marching that they're doing every weekend. Figure out what your specialized role is, and when you plug into that organization, say, this is what I can offer. Here is how it is important and integral to the movement, and please use me how you see fit to make sure that we continue on with our goal.
Yes, that's important. Just being available. That's what most of the organizations need. Are those bodies that's willing to volunteer their time and make the effort to get things accomplished. We want to fight, but we have to stay with it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it can't be a week-long situation, and then the next week we're back to just our regular old humdrum life.
Right. Our regularly scheduled program.
Right.
Legit. If you want, I'm serious, y'all. Everybody has a different talent and treasure to offer to this, okay? If you are the pacifist, which is fine, that's fine. We need the pacifist. I kind of married a pacifist, and I'm a radical. And we need both of these types of people involved in the movement. But if you want to sit down and have the conversation with somebody and try to reach across the aisle, we need you to do that. I need somebody working in legislation while I'm out here throwing rocks at people. I might be throwing rocks at people, so we need everybody.
Lawyers, we need you to get her out of jail after throwing rocks at people.
Throwing rocks at people. But seriously, figure out what your specialized role is in the movement and go from there, okay? So that's 2. Plug in is number 1. Figure out your specialized role. Last but not least, number 3 is to not become paralyzed. Let's not become paralyzed by our fear of what's going on in the world, but let's also not become paralyzed by our anger. And I know you were talking about your nephew and your family wanted to get involved, but kind of being scared about.
I mean, with things that went on in Dallas, when you have protests and people decide to take things to another level, you're concerned about bringing your child out there.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law is one of those people, understandably so.
Yeah.
My thing is, we can't allow the actions of a few to keep us from the bigger picture. We have to address the bigger picture. So I suggested, throwing my nephew in a body harness, whatever the carriers that they're called.
Baby Bjorn.
Baby, right, all that. Lock him up, strap it. If things go down, run. His arms will be flailing. That's cool. But he's out there, he's getting the message at a young age. And if he starts today, then he's going to grow up with the act of his heart, the act of his spirit. And at the end of the day, or I guess after a couple years, he'll be one of us, fighting the good fight. And that's what we need.
Lord,
more people
don't have to fight it.
I mean, I hope that we do a great enough job with my nephew, who is just over a year, doesn't have to go through what we've witnessed and experienced. But, you know, I want to be an optimist, but I also have to be a realist. This is not a day change. Yeah. It's not a quick change. It's going to be an effort. It has to be a movement. Yeah. And it has to be consistent on all fronts.
We're pragmatic about what this is going to take. It's going to take some years. It's been roughly 200 at this point. So I think we got a little bit more to go.
I didn't want to spit on my blood. Like, you don't waste alcohol, but she almost got me.
It's roughly. But seriously, we don't want anybody to become paralyzed by their fear. It's scary. It's a scary world out there. It's a scary time. There are people being found hanging in Piedmont Park in Atlanta. There are
allegedly suicide.
There are snipers at the top of buildings opening fire in the middle of protests. There are police officers pulling people over for broken taillights, shooting them inside of their cars. Shit's scary, and I get the want to bury your head in the sand and to not deal with it, but we can't. We cannot become paralyzed by our fear. We have to keep pressing on. The same can be said about our anger. Me and my husband are perfect examples of this. We get so mad, and then we just kind of sit on the sofa and look at each other. We vent, and we say all this stuff, and I might fire off a couple of tweets or a couple of Facebook stats, and I'm sitting there like, now what the fuck am I supposed to do now? Because I'm so angry about it. I'm like shaking in my anger, right? We cannot become paralyzed in those things. We have to continue the good fight. We have to continue to move. And it's hard. It's hard to say, I'm going to put one foot in front of the other and keep this going on, even though I'm scared for my children. I have 2 young girls, and while I understand that this is the plight of the black man, Sandra Bland was not a black man. So
it's not just a black man.
Right.
I mean, what we've seen in some of the videos we've seen has been black men, but black women are falling into the same situations that the black men have fallen into. Yeah. It's not an exclusive thing. It is a brown color of skin.
That melanin.
You know, our Hispanic brothers, the Asian brothers, pretty much if you're not white, you're white. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we can't be paralyzed by our fear and our anger. So this conversation could go on, and it probably will after we get off camera. But as y'all know, I'm always a stickler for time because I want to keep your attention. So our time is running out. I usually do final thoughts. I'm going to shoot it over. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to say?
I have a final thought.
Okay.
This thing is financial. We have to bring the money into play. Black dollar matters a whole lot. Focus on where you're spending your black dollar. Black businesses, black banks. We need to be controlling our money. We need to have our dollar be spent within the black community more than 1 to 2 times before it leaves.
And stop asking for discounts for black people. If you're going to pay full price at Walmart, pay full price on the street at your friend business.
You don't walk up to Walmart talking about the hookup. I do. I say, can I use your employee discount? Somebody might give me that, but I don't get it. So I will go to a black establishment and say, can I use your employee discount, knowing damn well that I have to pay full price. Exactly. I mean, you know, that's just me though. But at the end of the day, spend your money with the black businesses. If they don't get it right, tell them they don't get it right. Tell them that, you know, you're not satisfied with their business. Don't not go back. Give them a chance to correct it. And we have to spend money within our own community. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. As soon as the white people start losing our money, they'll wake up.
I think that's a good final thought. And I'll drink to that. Cheers. Thank y'all. Until next week. Keep sipping.